Today we are going to talk about, we're going to start off with the bad news, work our way to the good news. We're also going to talk about Holland America and their COVID-19 protection program. That is still in effect with Holland America. And then lots of updates for you and a few questions answered that I've gotten a lot lately. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Wednesday, it's January 4th of 2023. It happens to be one of our son's birthdays, so happy birthday, sweetie pie. So first of all, like I said, I decided that we were going to start with the bad news and work our way to the good news. So many of you have probably seen in the news that an American tourist, as they first reported it, was killed by gunfire in Belize. And when I saw that, I was really sad. It's always sad when someone is killed, but it hits your heart even a little bit more when they're on vacation, because that should be such a happy time. Well, then I saw the news reports that she is from Indianapolis. Those of you that have been around here a while know that I grew up in a small town in Indiana, and so when I saw she was from Indianapolis, I thought that I needed to pay particular attention. So her name is Jabria Michelle Bowens. She was only 23, from Indianapolis. She was a nursing student there. She and her family were on vacation, and they just happened to be close to, as they call it, the Jaguar nightclub, where a gang member decided to open fire, and they were not aiming at her, but when you open fire, bullets go everywhere, and so one hit her. And so I just thought that as a Let's Go family, we could include them in our prayers for those of us who pray, for those of you that said good thoughts, whatever it is that you do, keep her in mind and her family, especially as they go through this hard time. Now, the next thing, moving on to from the bad news to good news, is Holland America is still continuing their COVID-19 protection plan. We first saw the COVID protection plans come into effect when the restart started. They would always have, the cruise lines would say, if you'll book your cruise by this day, sail through this day, we will include you in the plan that we've got, so that if you come down with COVID, you don't lose the money from your cruise, even if it's really close, because usually you have to have the closer you get to a cruise, if you cancel, then you're going to lose your money. And so that's a really good reason to have insurance, because a lot of insurances, and make sure it's one that includes if you become ill and are not able to go, you will be covered. But Holland America has updated their plan. It used to be that you had to book by December 31st. They have now extended that to March 31st of 2023. So you have to book by then, and you have to sail by May 31st of 2023 to have your sailing covered. You don't just only have to book by March 31st and sail, but if you've already booked and you're going to be sailing by the end of May, you'll be covered. So the way that Holland America now has it working, and it's a little bit similar to what I was telling you about the other day when I gave you the update for Carnival, is you do have to show proof of that COVID test. And if they catch you falsifying that information, then they will rescind the benefits that they were giving you from that. So be really clear on that. So if you are going to go on a cruise with Holland America and you test positive within 5 days of embarkation, you need to let them know. You need to give them proof, you need to give them real proof, like from a lab, of your test results. And once you have done that, what they do is they will refund to you things like your port fees and expenses, things like that. Then they will give you a future cruise credit for the amount of the actual cruise fare. Alrighty, so if you've bought excursions for that cruise, you just get that money refunded to you, like you do the port fees and taxes. But then with that future cruise credit that they are going to give you, they will give you 12 months to book that and sail, so that once you're better, you can book a cruise and off you go. I really appreciate that. I am glad that they are continuing that. I would like to say that it does not replace insurance, because insurance doesn't always, the future cruise the future cruise, the benefit that they are going to give you will maybe not cover everything that you have spent in preparing for that trip. Sometimes you book a hotel room the night before, and sometimes you might book it on a deal that it's not refundable, so you're not going to get that money back if you don't have insurance on that. Just lots of things to consider, but a really important thing that I think to note about that is here it says, also, guests who miss cruise days, like you're on the cruise and you come down with COVID, including time on inboard isolation or quarantine as required by the onboard medical team, will receive a future cruise credit worth 100% of the per day cruise fare for any full day spent in isolation, and a refundable credit to their onboard account for missed prepaid onboard experiences, shore excursions, purchased through the cruise line, and everything like that. So they are also including that. They also say that if you have booked like your tickets through Holland America, theirs I believe is called Easy Air, if you book your flights through them, that usually now the airline itself is going to give you a credit. If part of what you have paid for your ticket is given to you by the airline as a credit, then they will give you that money back as well. So I think it's really interesting, and it's very important to note how things have changed with airlines since COVID. We might recall before COVID, you needed to go on your flight or else you lost your money, or you would have to call them and reschedule all of these different things, know when you were going to fly, and there would usually be a penalty. But now a lot of times with the flights, the airlines will give you actually an e-credit, they call it, of the amount for that flight. And so that's what they would be doing with these flights, with this situation. And then if they don't, Holland America will refund the money to you. So like I said, this does not replace insurance, but it's a really important thing, and I love that Holland America is doing it. I think it just makes it a lot easier to work with them. If you have this, like I said, if you test positive, you can call them, get the ball rolling, submit your positive COVID test, but don't use the COVID test if you don't have COVID, because well, not only is it not honest, but they'll catch you. So yeah, honesty is very important. But I wanted to let you know about that. Now, I did look at Princess's website, and I don't see that they have that anymore. They used to have that perk that you could do that, but I will say, with their insurance, they've got the standard and the platinum, that receiving payment for part of your missed cruise is included in those policies. So I just wanted to let you know about that. Now, the next thing that I want us to talk about is just some updates from some ships to give you an idea of what the picture looks like sailing these days. We've got a Let's Go family member on the Emerald Princess now. They're on a Panama Canal cruise. They say that she is sailing at only 61% of capacity. So it sounds like it's still really nice to get out there on a cruise and not be packed full. I know that a lot of the cruises, I am hearing a lot of the cruises over the holidays, of course, were at very high capacity because so many families like to cruise together at Christmas, and I get that. It's a lovely way to join, especially extended family. You've got accommodations for everyone. No one has to cook or clean up the dishes, and you can all have lovely experiences together. So I think that sailing during the holidays together is a really good idea. But anyway, but in January, children go back to school, and all these things happen, and so I love to hear that they're at 61% capacity. I know that's not good for the cruise lines. It's good for the passengers to not have long lines and to just be able to enjoy the ship a little bit more with not so many people there. Also, along with that, we've got a Let's Go family member who was on the Sky Princess over Christmas, and they just let me know that they were on the Sky on a 10-day Christmas cruise. There were 2,700 passengers on that cruise. Now, keep in mind, that is still not full capacity. The Sky Princess can hold 3,660 passengers, and so with that 2,700, they were what's that closer to, 75 or 80%? And they had a crew of 1,300. They did say, and I love this is good news, that the food was better on this sailing than the other 3 cruises that they have been on lately. So honestly, hopefully some supply chain issues are working out. Hopefully Princess is on the job with the food again. that makes me really happy. It resolves a lot of problems that people have been worried about. So let me know if you're on a princess ship right now, how that's going. And finally, they did say that the internet was really slow. There you go. The next thing that I wanted to let you all know about, and this is, the other day I talked to you about Princess taking cabins. Well, here's a Let's Go family member that before COVID they had sailed on Celebrity and their cabin had been taken. They very specifically booked it close to the spa because they like to go to the spa so much, and they were upgraded. Well, this is kind of an upgrade when you think about it, because the spa on most of the Celebrity ships is forward, and they were upgraded to a midship balcony. So I can see I'm gonna give them that. I don't a midship is better than forward when you're comparing cabins, because you feel the movement of the ship so much less there. But at the same time, they got them moved, and they were not notified of that until they arrived there for embarkation. So the main thing I want you all to remember is make sure that your cabins are marked do not upgrade. If you need to call and tell them, or tell your travel agent to do it, and so that will hopefully at least lessen the chance of them being moved. Of course, I can't promise anything, but it's all we can do, right? And then, of course, if you notice them being upgraded, call. Another person about Celebrity had asked me if they still try to take your picture all the time, and if they try to upsell you on the drink package all the time. When I was just on the Celebrity Reflection, no, they were not trying to take my picture all the time. They had a picture place set up that you could get your photo taken if you wanted, but when I walked by there, nobody said, "You want your picture?" I didn't see any of that going on. When the other thing that they were about the upselling on the drink package, the very first day that I was on board the ship, I noticed that up by the buffet, and I think I've told you this before, but they had a thing set up where people could see how much the different beverage packages cost, and if you wanted to upgrade, then you could. That was the only day I saw that set up. Nobody ever asked me to upgrade my drink package once, and so I would say that has changed as well, and I can see that changing with the direction that Celebrity's trying to go. They're being more of your luxury. They're not only trying to be more luxury, they are being more luxury, in my estimation. And I think that continually pestering people is not luxury. And so it sounds like, at least on my experience, they have taken that element out of it. And I would really like to hear from those of you who have just sailed on Celebrity or are going to sail on Celebrity. Is that going on the cruises that you're on? And I also want to hear about your experience. And I'm so excited. This is just great. So there's that. And then finally, this is a question that I have gotten several times lately. And so it's about guaranteed cabins. Now, on every cruise line, you can book a guaranteed cabin, and those are almost always the cheapest cabins. Well, they are, I think, the cheapest cabins that you're going to get in each category, right? You can book an interior guaranteed, a balcony guaranteed, and literally all that means is that you will be assigned a cabin in that category somewhere on the ship. You don't know where it is, so you just take the risk with that, but you pay a little bit less. But warning, sometimes it's just a little bit less. So anyway, so when you do that, usually you will know before you leave home what your cabin is. But you know what? Sometimes people don't know until they get right to the port at embarkation and find out what their cabin is at that time. So I have had the experience of seeing people at the port find out what their cabin was. And this is just when it's not happened to me, because I have not done on Princess on Princess, I have not done a guaranteed cabin. Let's start with that. But I have been at the port and seen people checking in and being told what their cabin is when they've done that, and they have gotten help with the baggage tags. I have seen them have baggage tags and writing their cabin number on it, and then doing that. Now, the inconvenient thing is, and this was before COVID, I have not seen that happening since COVID. The inconvenient thing is, as you know, usually if you get on the Princess Transfer, you give them your bags. And so I like to think that most of the time now you hear about that in advance, but if not, hang on to your bags, and when you get there, go check in and put it on the luggage thing, and then you'll have to give them your bags at that point or take them back out. If anybody has done that recently, can you please let us know? I cannot imagine that they would not let you know before you leave home, because they've got to assign those cabins and know where they are that close to traveling. If you're going somewhere a week before or 2 weeks before, you know, having an extended trip, just keep an eye, and at the hotel you're at, use their little business center. Or even when we've been at a hotel that didn't have a handy business center, one time we literally, well, we've asked them to print things for us at the front desk, and they're always really nice and do that. I don't ask for 50-page documents. I just say, could you please print this? And they have done it for us. So keep that in mind as an option as well. And like I said, everybody let us know that's booked guaranteed cabins lately, especially with Princess, since this is what they were asking for, how it's gone. I know that when we went in November on Royal Caribbean, we did book a guaranteed junior suite, and we knew like weeks in advance which our cabin was. And so we easily printed our luggage tags and took them with us. So I hope that that is helpful for all of you. I really appreciate all of the updates that all of you send to me. If you're on a cruise or you've recently been on a cruise, let us know how it's going. We're so excited. I just love that we're in a brand new year here. I know it's we just, you know, can carry on as we are, but I like the kind of the refreshing that we feel as we move forward, and so I'm really excited to talk to you all about that some more as we get our year going. So if you have not subscribed yet, we would love you if you would please subscribe. If you appreciate these updates, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.